All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So, I'm sitting here right now, kind of thinking about, last night's game and how much of a roller coaster ride it actually was. There was good, there was bad, there was ups and downs for both teams involved. A crazy amount of penalties, really sloppy game. I mean, we had players dropping passes, not creating any separation, players just falling down, missing assignments with blocks, just injuries were crazy, penalties were crazy. It's just last night was such again a roller coaster ride. Like there was so much happening in last night's game. It's kind of crazy to kind of sit back and think about. But there were a couple of points or questions that popped into my head as I'm sitting here right now thinking about it. And the first one is regarding Mekhi Becton. Okay, tell me, it's just a simple question. If Mekhi Becton is hurt, so he's not healthy enough to start, why is he dressed and able to be the backup? Like, that makes no sense at all in the first place. And then, of course, Adoga gets hurt, Becton gets put into the game and leaves the game because he's in pain. And at one point, the camera literally pans to Becton on the sidelines, and he's wincing in pain. Why is he dressed in the first place? Mekhi Becton has been the New York Jets' best player this season, first-round pick out of Louisville. And we're going to put this guy who's injured, not only are we going to just dress this dude, but we're going to put him back into the game? And then Gay said in the press conference that he essentially pulled himself out of the game because he was not good enough to go. And I didn't watch the press conference, actually. I know I was pretty excited to last night. I ended up just not having the energy for it, the mental energy for it. So I don't know how that remark kind of came across. I don't know if it was Gase snapping back at the reporter, basically saying, almost throwing Becton under the bus. But I don't know if that was, the intent. I don't know if it was just a question and he just answered it, just normally oh yeah, Becton, happened to pull himself because he was injured, or if it was just he pulled himself and almost referencing he abandoned the team or ditched the team. So I don't want to get too much into that aspect of it because I didn't watch the presser. But just that fact alone, that Mekhi Becton was not good enough to play, he was not healthy enough to play, yet he was dressed, and then he's a backup. It just makes no sense to me. No sense at all. And then since we're on the same, of the realm of, talking about the realm of injuries here, Sam Darnold, gets hit pretty hard, is a solid hit by the Bronco defender. He comes around, he whips Darnold down, and he ends up hurting his shoulder, right? I think it came back. He ended up, missing a couple plays, and then he came back in the game and just looked off ever since he went back in. He was just missing throws. Just, it almost looked like he was afraid to really let the ball rip downfield on, passes that need zip, not lofting, lofted deep balls type of plays. But I mean, it comes out today that it was a shoulder sprain. I think it was an AC sprain or something like that. And that it's being it's up in the air that he might miss some time, right? Ian Rappaport was tweeting about how, Darnold could possibly miss time. And if he does practice, it's all about, pain management, right? How much pain is Darnold willing to push through in practice to kind of, still be the starter? And I'm sitting here wondering, why did Darnold go back into the game? I mean, the entire reason why Joe Flacco was brought in was because of circumstances like this, where if Darnold gets hurt, if Darnold gets mono again, if something crazy happens, he's late to the game, he doesn't show up at the stadium, he bails. Joe Flacco is there. He's a veteran quarterback that has played a lot of downs. Now, he's not a top 5 guy. He's not a top 15 guy. He's probably not a top 25 guy in the league right now. But the reason why Joe Flacco was brought to this team was to come in at times of need. If Sam Darnold is not healthy enough to go, if he's unavailable, then Flacco should have been playing. So I thought when Darnold came back into the game, I mean, the hit looked pretty nasty. It was gnarly to say the least. I thought Darnold was going to be out and he was going to miss a month or something. And for him to come back, I'm like, okay, awesome, sweet. Darnold is not it's not some major injury. And of course, a shoulder sprain is a lot more, or is a lot less severe than, a possible tear or something like that. So I am thankful of that. But at the end of the day, if Darnold is looking like he's going to have to practice through pain and probably will miss time, why was he even put back into the game in the first place? That makes no sense to me at all. And it reminds me a lot of the Kelechi Osemele situation that the Jets fans and Jets organization had on their hands last year, right? Where it was like this big thing of Osemele saying he was hurt, but was almost forced to play. Weird stuff like that. And I know Quincy Enunwa had a similar situation. Wasn't really the same thing, but a similar one. But I mean, those are like two takeaways or two questions. I'm sitting here, Friday afternoon, wondering about, like, why is Becton being put back into the game? Why is Sam Darnold being put back? So yeah, I mean, those are just pretty much my overall thoughts on last night's game. After sleeping on it and, having all today to kind of think about how the game went as well, it all just boils down to a couple questions, surrounding Darnold's health, surrounding Mekhi Becton's health, and the decision to put both of those guys back into the game. It's not a responsible one. It really, really is not. So I'll leave it there. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Hopefully the Jets bounce back against Arizona. I mean, at this point, I don't know. Like, real quick, before I end the video, I know I'm kind of rambling here, but I don't see a game on the schedule. If we could not beat a winless Broncos team without their best wide receiver, their best running back, their best player, Von Miller, their starting quarterback, Drew Lock, and their backup quarterback, Jeff Driscoll, did not play, how can we go and beat the Chiefs and the Patriots twice? And we have the Bills to play. Seattle down the line. LA Rams down the line. We have Arizona this week. Arizona's look great. So I don't see another game like in the foreseeable future where the Jets can actually compete. And that's a tough pill to swallow. It really, really is. So let me know your thoughts on that as well. So again, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for putting up with this team and, to always tuning into this channel, because it's very, very hard to, watch these games, talk about these games as fans. So I really do appreciate, you guys always, tuning in and leaving your thoughts down below. It really means a lot. And I always love reading what everybody has to say after games and stuff like that. It's always, I don't want to say it's always good because the Jets always lose and stuff like that, so all the comments are normally negative, but I like how it's like one big community of diehard Jet fans. So I'll leave it there. Let me know your thoughts, and as always, thanks so much for watching, and go Jets.